This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the world is watching as the political landscape in the United States continues to evolve, with President-elect Donald Trump transitioning into his new role. The question is, what will a Trump-led government mean for the Bahamas? Tonight, a leading government official is weighing in on this new era in the United States politics and U.S.-Bahamian relations. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
It has been described as the biggest political upset in the United States history. After a grueling and vigorous campaign between two political rivals, Republican candidate Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton, the people of the United States have spoken. Despite scathing allegations, billionaire Donald Trump has been elected as the 45th president of the United States. On Thursday morning, the process of transition began for President-elect Trump as he met with President Barack Obama at the White House in Washington, D.C. As controversy looms regarding this political bombshell, reaction continues to come in. Many are still trying to wrap their minds around how a business and real estate mogul, dubbed a political outsider with no political experience, went up against a political giant like Hillary Clinton, who has 30 years of experience, and won. ZNS News spoke with the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Dowell, about the historic changing of the guard.
It's very difficult to make a determination from polling who will actually be the prime minister or president. In the United States, we looked at the polls. A lot was in favor of Hillary, but the people spoke. And so now Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. It is our job in our foreign policy to work with our giant across the water and to make sure that we have policies and relations that will benefit the residents of Grand Bahama and by extension the entire country.
For years, the Bahamas has enjoyed strong diplomatic ties and a cordial and successful relationship with the United States. Now, in the wake of this new chapter being written in U.S. history, Minister Dowell is optimistic that this spirit of cooperation will continue.
I believe that we will definitely recover our tourism product. We will definitely recover in our economy. And so it's important for us, particularly those who are involved in foreign policy, to make sure that we constantly lobby for what is best for the Bahamas. But our job as a small country, that as we begin to develop our policies, we want to make sure that they align with our partners, and at the end of the day, the people of the Bahamas will benefit irrespective of who is the president of the United States.
Minister Dowell also weighed in on President-elect Trump's new role and what it could mean for the Bahamas, particularly Grand Bahama.
We are prepared to work with the president of the United States and to make sure that Freeport in particular, we find ways on how we can attract direct foreign investment from the United States and to be able to create jobs for our people.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
The restoration efforts continue on Grand Bahama, and local churches are among those trying to rebuild in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew. Grand Bahama was one of the island's hardest hit when Hurricane Matthew swept through the entire archipelago just over 1 month ago. Communities around the island were impacted by the Category 4 storm. While many homes, businesses, and schools were damaged or destroyed, churches across the nation's second city were also devastated. President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Peter Pinder.
What that ought to do for us is cause us to evaluate how we build our churches and where we build our churches. Because, for example, we may want to consider for the future that churches in West End may need to be on stakes. But these are things that should arise out of the fact that these churches had suffered damages, some minor, some major.
He says the council has very little funds, but will do all it can to help local churches to return to normalcy.
There are so many churches that are impacted that we from a financial standpoint, there's not very much that we can do. Now, we did receive from the Abaco Christian Council $1,600, and we have committed $2,000 of our own resources, which would enable us to assist a few of the churches that suffered the most damage and that are in areas where they have the greatest need.
The council will have to conduct an assessment to determine who needs assistance the most.
We're trying to talk directly with pastors in terms of communicating with them via phone and email and actually asking them of the nature of the destruction.
Reverend Pinder, who served as executive secretary of the Caribbean Baptist Fellowship, is hoping that international organizations continue their tradition of helping churches struck by disaster.
Years ago, when I worked with the Caribbean Baptist Fellowship and had direct connection with the Baptist World Alliance and the Southern Baptist Convention, I was able to secure a lot of assistance for churches from them. Since I'm no longer in that role, I don't have the same opportunity to provide that kind of assistance. But I believe that the possibility is still there that some of those agencies in the United States that respond to disaster will be contacting us so that we can channel some of the resources to our churches.
Based on the extent of damage caused by Hurricane Matthew, West End is expected to be the last community to be re-energized by the Grand Bahama Power Company. Today, executives of the power company extended its humanitarian arm to that community, providing relief supplies to residents as they continue to await the restoration of electricity to that area. Megan Shepard reports.
Restoration crews can be seen all around the island, working day and night to re-energize Grand Bahama. While many have had this essential service restored, the community of West End is still without. Director of Resources Management and Stakeholder Relations, Filter Grant, says that Grand Bahama Power Company is not only concerned about their systems, but the effect the storm had on residents.
We also live here, so we look at what impact it had on the communities and what it did to the residents. So two things that are going on right now are normal restoration efforts in the West End, which we can talk about a little bit later, but we have 26 crews deployed in this area, and they're working all the way from Holmes Rock straight to West End, working on restoring power. As we had previously communicated, we anticipate that we should have this area energized by the 15th. But seeing the devastation and what happened here for the residents, we wanted to do more than just restore power, because we know that that's the first step in returning the island to normalcy. But we wanted to go over and beyond and do some more. So we brought care packages, water, ice, cleaning supplies that the employees wanted to give to the residents to help sustain them as they're going through this event.
Patrice Mizik of Customer Service Excellence says that the entire Emera family is heavily invested in community outreach and have been assisting in various ways.
Last week, Thursday, we started off by bringing water and food and ice that we delivered to the feeding centers, and then we took it around to the various homes throughout West End and a little portion of Poodle Bay. And today we're basically doing the same thing, but we're adding cleaning supplies to it. We realize that they are in need of assistance, and we are doing our very best to restore them as far as getting the power back on. But even after the restoration, as you know, anybody who would have been here and seen some of the devastation in West End would realize that there are a number of homes that even after we do energize this area still won't be able to receive power.
Hundreds of employees left their families to bring about quick restoration to the island. Mizik says that GBPC is extremely grateful to the group of companies that has treated Grand Bahama as family.
Like Nova Scotia Power, they would have gotten together and they donated plywood and supplies to the Lewis Yard area. We also have Tico, who would have assisted us with food supplies donations to the West End area. They're also actually doing a donation to the Homes Rock Primary, and we would have had E. Holland, who was here earlier, and they would have left already. But they also made a donation in part to the community. So, and even back now in Canada and in all our affiliates, we're still raising funds and seeing how best they can help us here in Grand Bahama, and we're very appreciative and grateful for that.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
ZNS Northern Service taking its radio show on the road this week to West Grand Bahama and meeting with residents to gauge how they're coping 1 month after the storm. Kimberly Mullings went along.
ZNS 810 AM, The Light, and Power 104.5 FM traveling to the coastal community of West End. Radio personality Sky speaking one-on-one with residents who were impacted by Hurricane Matthew. At the West End Primary School, the Church of the Ascension and Frank's Ice Cream were demonstrating acts of kindness. Lower-level primary school coordinator Nadia Andrews says, though Hurricane Matthew brought devastation, the blessings to come were not far behind for the children.
We are so fortunate and so blessed. We had an outpouring of donations. Every day something arrives at the school for the kids. So today, we are blessed with more snacks and supplies for the kids, so we just want to say thank you. It takes their mind off it a bit, it adds joy and it brings back the joy to their life. It brings back a sense of normalcy and it just makes them smile, makes them feel loved.
Members of the Church of the Ascension visited the settlement after the storm. Prayer coordinator Cynthia Donaldson says they found it fitting to give back.
Just looking around, we felt like this was the most opportune time and also the appropriate area for us to spread some joy, some hope, especially to the children, because children are so innocent, and to them the simplest little thing means a lot. So we felt if we can come and just share some little gifts with them and let them know that we love them.
President of the Anglican Church Women at the Church of the Ascension, Desleen Cumberbatch Lowe, says it is important to remember the children at this time.
And sometimes we forget they need to be encouraged. So we came today to try and encourage the kids and let them know that God loves them, we love them, and we want them to be happy. It's important, although they came through the storm, that they have a spirit of joy and peace.
Frank Oughton of Frank's Ice Cream also bringing smiles to many faces. He treated students, parents, and those nearby with ice cream. He was pleased to be a part of the day.
These are the ones you really have to show a difference to show them, hey, what they went through was like real trauma, but you got to show that love, and that love is being able to give and show, And I'm just honored to be out here today and see the smile on those kids' face. They are the key. They are the key. And so I enjoy coming down here today, and I think it's way more than worth it.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. There's more news after this.